Okay, I think we get on to the training now, so that I can be able to finish up in time. Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today being a Saturday, all right, I want to get off as early as possible. All right, okay. Today being a Saturday, I want to get off as early as possible so that I can spend some more time and be able to look at so that I can be able to look at the different aspects. All right. Okay, so we are going to get started. So if you have someone you want to invite, feel free. Feel free to have them here. So we are about to get started. So I'll give in just 2 minutes so that we start today's class. All right, sorry for that. I think the challenge has been solved. I think now I can be able to get started. Sorry, I was having some challenge here, but okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Sorry for that. I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to start from where we stopped last time, all right? And so I'm going to our trading view. Okay. Okay, so I think now we are good to go. I think now we are good to go. I think now we are good to go. So this is our trading view. In our previous classes that we had, we talked about the following. Okay, wow. We talked about the following. We said that you pick a trade. I think I'll be focusing on XLM USDT. That's where I'll put my focus today. And in a previous class, we looked at one indicator. We looked at one indicator. I don't know. Okay, in a previous class, we looked at, we said that you start from scratch. I'll go to the 1-day time frame. And we said that in the 1-day time frame, our first step is to look at the nearest swing low, which is this one here. Pick our rectangle, construct a support at the close of the red candle. Then you go to the swing high, the highest point in the market. Construct a resistance area, and that will be our main support and main resistance. We also said that it could be important for us to create mini support and mini resistance, which I can also do. Look at this swing low here, and at the close of the red candle at the bottom. I hope you can see how it relates there. We can also go an extra mile and look at other small areas. Okay, like I said the other time, you can create as many as you want. Okay, so you can look at that area there. Then as we come, that one is catered for. So no need to do it again, but there are some small areas, just small areas that we could look at. So I will delete these lines down here. Okay. So we said that you could be able to create an area. Then we also said that it would be important for us if we bring in the parallel channel in a previous call, and we are able to stretch it from here. Look at that point, that touch. Okay, then stretch it to the swing high, which is that point. So this helps us to understand the trend or the direction of the market. Okay, we can still, someone says, yes, you can still try to make it as perfect as you want, but you may not be so perfect. Someone may choose another area, but I'll basically choose here. I don't want to go a little bit deep because this is the 1 day. So I could take this, then I could still go up to this area if I'm interested, to this, or still to this, because this was the highest point. So that is in 1 day. So if we go to the 1 4 time frame, I hope you are able to see this picture here. It as it is coming out very clearly. Okay, now we also went an extra mile and said we can add in a second indicator, which we said the ABCDV1, which has the power to show us whether the market is on an uptrend or whether the market is on a downward trend. And we made a point and said that when you find lower lows and lower highs, you understand that that's a downward trend. Lower lows, lower high. And I also made a point and I said that when you find a lower high, please make sure you wait for the formation of a lower low. So if I don't see it there, maybe I could go to the 1 hour time frame, and I hope you could see that it could not be a good service for me to get into this trade now. So I wait for this trade to be able to form another point before I make an entry. So that is the ABCDV1, which I will not go into details today because we handled it last week. Sorry, this week on, I think on Thursday. Now today, after handling the ABCDV1, I want to go to another indicator, and that is none other than the stochastic RSI. So I'll tap on FX indicators, still go on technicals and write in the word stochastic. So there we go, stochastic. So the most important step is to make sure that we choose the RSI, the stochastic RSI, and there we go on our screen. So the stochastic RSI, the first step is to make sure that we set it right. So we tap on the name of the indicator, and then we tap on the setting here. So on the setting, we start on the input, like we have been saying several times, that you make sure this is a 4, this is a 2, this is a 14, this is a 14. So that is the setting on that area of, that is the setting of this area of the input side. We now want to go to the area of, we now want to go to the area of the style. Before I continue, is someone following, or I'm too fast, but I did this last week? Someone is saying, leader, good evening. This is not where you started or stopped. I think I did. I personally did the ABCV one. I think I did last week on Thursday, unless someone was not there. I remember I did. Okay, maybe you missed out, but the good thing that this was recorded. So if you don't resonate, you better go to the recording. I remember I did the ABCV1 indicator. All right, I think I did last week. Yeah, I remember I did. So now I want to go to the stochastic and then go to one of my main indicators we call the Fibonacci. I want to go to the Fib because it's very important. So I want to go to the Fib tool, right? The Fib indicator. One of the most crucial indicators that could help you trade in a best way. So let's go to the stochastic RSI. So we are still on the input. So these are key. Okay, so I hope someone has been able to see. I have no other explanation I can give you. They are simple settings. So I don't have an explanation. I don't have an explanation about the strategy, all right? I don't have an explanation here. It is the setting. So it is 4, 2, 14, 14. Okay, let's go to the style. This is where most people find a challenge. So when it comes to the K here, you are able to choose blue. Blue is my favorite color. Make sure the opacity is 100 and the thickness is at this level. Then let's go to D. Make sure the opacity is also 100 and the thickness is on the first line. Okay, now the upper band, I love the red color because it comes out very well. It's a bright color, meaning that it can be easily seen. So make sure it is 100 and the thickness is here. Okay, the upper band. Also in the upper band, you turn this dotted line to line, you turn to line. Then change 90. There's 10 or I don't know, 80, put it to 90 to help you be able to see that upper line. So on my screen, if I cancel, this red line is the 90, this one. That red line is the 90. Yeah, that red line is the 90. Okay, let me go again. So we are done with the upper line. The middle band, you can choose any color. I personally love blue, the thickness, the next line. Then you also make sure you turn the dotted line to line. You also make sure you turn the dotted line to line. Let's go to the lower band. You can choose any color you want. The thickness, the opacity 100, the thickness to this level. Then turn the dotted line to line. And where there is 10, there is, I don't know, but make sure you turn this to 10. So someone could take a screenshot. We don't change the visibility of any indicator. We do not change the visibility of any indicator. So after there, we tap on these three dots, save as default, and press OK. And this is our indicator in the screen. So this line is at 90%, this line is at 50, and this line is at 10. If you are okay with the settings, you could type for me 1 in the chat. Then I go to the interpretation of the stochastic RSI. Okay, you could type for me 1 in the chat. You could type for me 1 in the chat so that I could be able now to go to the stochastic RSI. If you are new, basically, and you are seeing this for the very, very first time, you don't need to get worried or scared. This is an extra dose, but your robot can trade for you, either following the signals or if you have enough capital. So there is nothing for you to really get worried. Now let's go to interpreting of the stochastic RSI. Let's go to interpreting the stochastic RSI and how we can be able to use it. All right. The stochastic RSI has two important areas that should always kill our focus and our time whenever we look at the market. The stochastic RSI has an area where the stochastic itself moves below here at 10, goes up at 90. And when it gets into the upper area that is in red, I mean this area that is in red, we are able to understand that it signifies that there is what we call overbuying. Let me show you one area of overbuying. Let me see if the harbor has done an overbuying area. Beautiful, beautiful. So if you are able to see in this area here, if you were trading, and you see that the blue line is in that area, you know that buyers have overbought. So you see it moved from here, from the higher low to the higher high. So even if someone sends you a signal and you find that this signal has formed a higher high, please don't get in the market because you are putting your funds at risk, because this coin, yes, it can go back, but this coin has been able to hit the top and it's now going to plan to hit the bottom. All right. It has hit the top and it is in the overbought area. Okay. There is another area that we should love most is when the stochastic RSI is in what we call the oversold area. Okay. Oversold, meaning that the market did well, then it moved down. It came in this area called oversold. The sellers did what we call an oversell. So this is oversold and this is overbought. So we should always think about getting in the market when the stochastic RSI, the blue stochastic RSI is pointing up. Now this is very important, okay, if I widen my screen for everybody to see. When should we get in the market? I want to show you all the scenarios. We should get in the market when the stochastic RSI is in the oversold area. That means below 50, the middle line. But also the stochastic RSI, must be pointing up. Must be pointing up. The stochastic RSI must be pointing up, ladies and gentlemen. The stochastic RSI must be pointing up. Okay, now let's find an example. Let's find an example. Okay, I want to use this example here. Just a minute. I need to find out. Okay, good. I want you to see in this scenario here, you go to check out your stochastic RSI. You basically find it below the 50 line, like in this scenario, the oversold area. What do you look at? You want to find an area where the blue line crosses over the orange line. So in this scenario, ladies and gentlemen, it is here. So what do? You pick your pencil, pick a vertical line, and draw a line in this area. Now, I want you to imagine a scenario where you are in the stochastic RSI, like we're going to see so many examples, and you find it that it has crossed over, it is below the 50 line, and down here it is in what we call a higher low. Ladies and gentlemen, on the call, you know that when it forms a higher low, it is exactly from a higher low going to form what we call a higher high. When it forms a higher low, like here, your mind should be starting thinking that this trade is going to form a higher high, all right? Okay. But if you find scenarios like this one, there are certain scenarios, okay? There's a scenario here. I needed to also clear the air. There's a scenario here that you'll find that it has formed a higher high, it has formed a higher low. Now it forms a higher low here, then forms a lower high. So once it forms a higher low here, then it gives you the confidence that this market is going to now form a higher high. Why? Because this one is a lower point and this one is also a crossover. Those are two confirmation, confirmation one, confirmation two. Remember, you must see three indicators. Please, let me make this clear. You must have three indicators speaking the same language. Three indicators. If you don't have three indicators speaking the same language, don't get into that trade. Let me come on GRT as an example. Okay, for example, this is GRT. It is really forming down. Now here, ladies and gentlemen, see, it has formed a lower low. You expect it to move from a lower low to form what we call a lower high. But as it has formed a lower low, ladies and gentlemen, and you are thinking that from a lower low, it's going to form a lower high. Basically, you see the stochastic RSI is pointing up. Please don't enter the market because you see a lower low here and you see the stochastic pointing down. This is good. This is confirmation one, but this is confirmation zero. Are we together? Are we opening our eyes on the screen? All right. If you are following and you are learning, type for me one in the chat. You need three confirmations. Three confirmations, right? Okay, please don't stick in the past. I've given you settings of your stochastic RSI. When it comes to cryptocurrency, you must be able to unlearn what you learned, all right? Don't stick to the past. If you don't have three confirmations, especially if you don't have experience in trading, I beg you, please, personally, don't get into that trade. Even if you see a lower low, yes, you know it's going to form a lower high, please don't get into that trade. If the stochastic RSI is pointing up, it is an indication that this trade doesn't have the velocity or the momentum to move up. Okay, let's find another trade. Neo, we are into, I think, the 1 hour time frame. Beautiful. Okay. Yes, Julius. Yes. Now, I want you to see a scenario here. A very beautiful one. A very beautiful one. I hope you can see buying pressure there. And let us draw our vertical line at the crossover. It is here. You see how powerful this is, ladies and gentlemen? Where is Neo? Can you see? There is a crossover here, confirmation one. Okay, there is a lower low here. That is confirmation two, meaning it is going to move up. Okay, move up, right? So you use that to, if you make your entry there, all right? Let me see. If I use my price range, I usually advise my people not to take more than 3%, especially where we are in the market right now. If you exceed 3%, you might be taken to theater. So if you make entry here, all right, this is 1 hour. Then the market changed. Okay. I'd expect it to go as high as the other time, the previous lower low. But then this is 1 hour, it didn't hit up. So you must have 3 confirmations, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Okay, we shall talk about how to enter. So let us look at another trade as we are going into our last indicator for today. Beautiful, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Look at this. Okay, all right, at the crossover, all right, there exactly. You make your entry at the close of the candle. I'll not draw the line, but I basically from here. Okay, wow, it was so sweet, 2%. Beautiful. Okay, let's find another trade in a downward trade market. Good. Some trades will be perfect, others will have issues. Okay, at the crossover here, I hope you see lower low. Okay, it means it will form a lower high. Then you pick you pick from here. Then you're able to take, this was around 1.3, all right, okay. But if we go in the 4-hour time frame, one of my best time frames, me personally, I love the 4-hour time frame because they give a bigger take profit. You wait longer, but you have a bigger take profit. That's why me, I love the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so if you're gonna use a scenario here at the crossover, I wait longer, but I take a bigger take profit. So if we're gonna use this as our entry, confirmation lower low, planning to form a lower high or a higher high, which is okay. Right from here, can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, this was 13% in the downward trend. Shiba, 13%. Now, Shiba seems to be going to have an uptrend because you see it has formed a higher low. It has formed a higher low, but I would love to trade Shiba unless you are so good because it is an area of oversold, all right? So maybe I check in the 1-hour time frame and I see if I want to make an entry. Now the market is facing down. Okay, so when you enter using the 4-hour time frame, you remain in a trade longer, but you take a bigger profit. Okay, you take really a bigger profit. Now, if you see scenarios like this one, it's a confusing state, all right? A confusing state. Okay, it's really a confusing state. Follow the zigzag. I hope everybody can see. It has formed a lower high. It is supposed to form a lower low, which is not yet formed. So I can be a little bit patient, but I can draw my vertical line. All right. At the crossover here. But a perfect stochastic RSI, I also talk about that. A perfect stochastic RSI also, the two must be pointing up. If you find, let me find a better scenario. Let me get, let me see if I could find a better scenario on this. Not this. Let me find it. Not this. Wow, this trade has delivered. Hey, congratulations, my brother. We did that 4%. Thank you. Right. Let me see. Okay. These ones are not speaking the language I love. Okay. You must choose when the stochastic RSI, when you find them pointing straight like that, don't use this scenario because I said it is in the oversold area, the overbought area, sorry. All right. So are we okay? I want to go to my last indicator. I think I've given enough examples. There's someone who's there's someone who is sleeping. His video is off, so I've decided to switch it off. Sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I've switched off your video because you're on camera and you are sleeping. So you find that it is not good. Okay. I've also switched off for another one. The camera is on, but the person is not around. So I better get off the camera. What are the meaning of those symbols? What are the meaning of those triangles that are like symbols? I don't understand. Is there anything I've used? I think I've only used I don't need to explain everything on TradingView. You just need to use a few of what is available. Okay, now let's go to our last indicator for today. So we are going to go to an indicator. This indicator, when we go to technicals, it is called the auto Fibonacci retracement indicator. Very important. The auto fib. All right, so it gets into our screen. So let me use which coin was it? XTZ? I don't remember. Was it? I think I had loved a coin called OTC USDT. I really love it. I love the project. I love the project, no matter its challenges, but I love the project. Let me go to the 1 hour time frame. It's showing some good, shows some good buying pressure. All right, let's now discuss this indicator. So I'm going to remove this one. This one. Okay. I'm going to also to remove these ones. Okay. Let me remove these ones. I'm removing them just to explain better. Let me lower the stochastic. All right, this is our screen. So let me now add in the auto fib. Okay, there we go. Let's go to the settings of the indicator. There are so many ways people can set this indicator, but I'll keep it basic. What do you need to change here? There are a few things. Change, your indicator will come like this. This is how your indicator will come looking like. You see, it will have this, and some of you may not have the power to interpret. Me, I can know that this is 178. Me, I can know these lines. But some of you may not have the power to interpret these lines. So what do? Tap on the settings where there is values, choose percent. Because the market moves from the left to the right, you want to change from left to right. And so this is how your indicator will look like. This is a good trade. This is a very good trade. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'm gonna. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Just a minute. Good. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. One more minute. Good. Okay, let me now share my screen. Seen, you know. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the settings of this indicator. So you come here, these will come ticked, but what you do, you make sure these will come ticked, don't tamper with them. But what you do, if you are not yet familiar, tick everything on the left. Everything on the left up to the bottom. Then down here, you tick here and here, and you are done. Simple. Me, I will not go into interpreting these lines, what they mean. Just tick everything on the left, then tick here, and you are done. Then after that, you save as default and press OK. So this is the indicator. Are we okay with the settings of the indicator before I go to the interpretation? And this will be my end for today. Before I go to the interpretation and combine the three indicators at once. Are we okay? Type 2 in the chat if you're okay with the settings. Type 2 in the chat. Type 2 in the chat. Okay. Type 2 in the chat if you're okay with the settings of the indicator. I've said you turn percent, you turn values to percent, turn right to left, tick everything, everything. I see someone giving me 3, I don't know what you mean. Tick everything on the left and just tick the last 2. So I don't need to go into this. I don't love complicating what I teach, me personally. I don't need to get sophisticated. So you tick, you turn percent, values to percent, left to right, tick everything on the left. Then you tick here and here. Don't come back here and untick these ones. They will come when they are ticked. Save as default, press OK. All right, now let's interpret this indicator. Let me first look at this trade in the 4-hour time frame. These are my 2 basic. Wow, good. Okay, so yeah, it's a little bit bend off, but it is in the right position. Very little profit. Very little profit. Okay. All right. Now let's try to interpret this indicator. Now this indicator has a dotted line that is moving from here to here. This indicator okay. I'm teaching silence. Silence. I'm teaching silence. Okay. All right. Sorry for that. I'm just making sure that there is good focus. Right. So when you see 100 is down and 0 is on top, understand that this is an uptrend. Let me make this clear. It means that the previous trend that happened previously. If you are able to see, the market moved from 0 to 100. The previous trend. The previous trend, the market moved from 0 to 100, which means this trend is on an uptrend. And if it is going to continue going up, it has to retrace. Has someone understood that? Because I'm going to show you another one. Has someone understood that? Type for me one in the chat if you have understood that. I don't need to complicate anything. Simple as that. 100 is down, 0 is on top. It means the previous trend, the market moved from 100 to 0, and this trend is still an upward trend. But it has to retrace if it is still going to continue going up. Remember, this is just technical analysis. It does not control the market. So look, the market moved from here with this dotted line, touched the 0 line. It has to retrace. So we have the 0, the 100%, the 78, the 61.8, the 50 line, the 38, the 32, the 0 line. Now, another important point. Another important point, very important. So for you to see these lines well, by the way, for you to see these lines well, I usually advise my friends to widen their screens so that they can see the lines very well. So it is important for you to be able to see these lines very well. So you need to widen so that you can see that this is line 78.6, this is line 61.8, this is line 50, this is line 38.2, this is line 23.6. And that is very important because these lines, they also act as support and resistance. These lines also act as support and resistance. I want to repeat my point. These lines, they also act as support and resistance. For example, let us just take this scenario here. You see that? You see that if you look well, this red candle closed above this line. So it means this line became resistance and this line became support. So if I make my entry here, let me pick my price range. If I make my entry here, then I'll make my exit here. Depending on the time frame you decided to use to trade. So if you decided to use the 4-hour time frame, the distance between the two, for example, the distance between here and here in the 4-hour time frame may also not be the distance between here and here. You see, this is over 3%. So, also the other thing I want to say, if you are using the Fibonacci, make sure you maintain the time frame. Make sure you maintain the time frame. If you are in the 1-hour time frame, make sure you use the Fibonacci of the 1-hour time frame. If you are in the 4-hour time frame, make sure you use the Fibonacci of the 4-hour time frame. I hope people who have been attending our training, this shows a buy signal. It shows that there is buying pressure, sorry. So if it is in a 4-hour time frame, you see in the 1 hour, it's on an uptrend, 100 is down, 0 is on top. But in the 4-hour time frame, things are different. Why, Julius? Because 0 is down and 100 is on top. This means that, look very well now, look very well, that the previous trend was a downward trend. The market moved from 100% to 0. The market moved from 100% to 0. So if this market has to continue going down, it has to retrace before continuing down, like it is in the here in the 1 hour time frame, that the market is on an uptrend in the 1 hour time frame. And so if we look at the market moved from 100 to 0, so if this market is still going to continue going up, it has to retrace before going up. Have we understood that point? Now I want to go to points of retracement. Are we okay? Give me one in the chat if you're okay. Give me one in the chat if you're okay with that. Okay, this one has been given. Give me one in the chat if you understand that. As simple as that. Thank you so much, Wisdom. Thank you so much, Obed, Josephine, Israel, Mande. All right, thank you so much, Grace. So maintain your time frame where you are checking your trading experience. All right. Okay. Now, let's talk about areas of market retracement. Important areas of market retracement. On an uptrend, we expect that when the market moves from 100 to 0, it has to retrace at the 38.2 line, or the 50, or the 61.8. We expect the market to either touch this line and move back to 0, or touch this line and move back to 0, or touch this line and move back to 0 in the 1 hour time frame. Here where we are right now. We expect the market to retrace if it's going to still move up. Now, before I continue, ladies and gentlemen, now that you expect the market is going to retrace, now this is 1 hour. Okay. This is 4 hours. All right. This is 1 hour. Okay, good. Now, the fib will not always, I think this has happened at the right time. It will not always remain the same sometimes. You know, you might come back to check what was an upward trend, depending on the time frame that it has changed. It's now a downward trend. All right. Now you see 0 is down. That's very important. 0 is down and 100 is on top, which means that this previous trend, this one, was a downward trend. There's a previous trend, this one. It was a downward trend. The market moved from 100 to 0. So if this market still is going to continue going down, it has to retrace. Now I want to talk about the retracement lines. These retracement lines are 3. The 38.2 line, the 50, and the 61.8. In an upward trend, like I've said, the market will move up
Hello. I think leader Julius has been taken away by. Leader Julius have been taken off by the network. So let's be patient while he comes back.
All right, sorry. Network in Uganda had gone off totally from my phone. I don't know. And I struggled to see if I can get in. Nowhere. So let's continue, right? Okay, let's continue. Thank you for being patient. All right. Okay, so you must be able to understand these reversal areas in the market where you expect the market to reverse. Very, very important. All right. Okay. So, and you have to see that 0 is the fit up to 38.2 because that is the usual reversal. Now, we have talked about here. Now, in a downward trend, where does the market usually reverse from? So your margin calls, if you want to be safe, margin calls that don't have issues with either FTX, it's usually this line here in a downward trend. 61.8. 61.8 is an important area. Whenever you see a coin on 61.8 line, just know this coin is going to move up to 0. So this is also an important area, negative 61.8 on a downward trend. Let me see if I could, I've seen someone post a coin I love. Let me check it out with you here. CRV, USDT. Okay, this is in the 1 hour time frame. It's on a 0 line. It's on a 0 line. It means the previous trend was a downward trend. This is also a downward trend. Maybe look at it now in the 4 hour time frame. Okay, now here it is sweet in the okay, now let me explain what happens in this scenario. Okay, and why there is gonna be a reversal so that you can see yourself. Now you see that this is an upward trend in the 4 hour time frame. 100 is down and 0 is on top. It means the market moved from 100 to 0. It had to retrace, ladies and gentlemen, between 38.60, 61.8, 50 or 38. I want to show you that the market respected that area. Do you see? When the market moved up, it came back from here. You see, it even went a little bit below here. But from here, it moved again up to this point. So after retracing, it now decided to move down. So if this market is still going to continue in an upward trend, it has to retrace. And you see, it moved from here. I'm going to use just those candles, these ones. And then it came back from here. It moved back again. This is the retracement I've been talking about. Then it has had a severe downward movement. Now, when it comes to the market moving down, ladies and gentlemen, when it is in an upward trend, usually the market reverses when it touches 161.8. Usually the market goes up. 161.8. The other side, it touches negative 61.8. But here it is 161.8. When it touches this line, in most cases, it moves back up to 100. Now, let us combine the three. 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 Okay. I hope you can now enjoy the rest. Let me put in a 1 hour time frame. Okay, if you look at this coin, you can appreciate that it is on a downward trend. I hope everybody can see that it's on a downward trend. Okay, you see lower low, lower high. And in this area, below the 50, although it's not pointing up, it is in the what you call the oversold. So it means if someone makes an entry there, then you need to measure some margin calls in the 1 hour. In the 4 hour time frame, still the same thing. I don't know why it's not changing. I hope my network doesn't disgust again. You see the lower low there, right? The lower low there. So you also needed to make sure you set up with some good margin calls up to this line if you want to trade safely. So I measure maybe from here and I create my margin calls up to this line. Why do you create margin calls? Because I said from when I started that these lines act as support and resistance. So once this line is broken, then the market is targeting the second line to be its reversal. For example, let me just go back a little bit. For example, when this line was broken, and the market came here. It was able to reverse from here to here before it went down. Can you know that this was over? Let me just show you. From here back to here, this was over 5% reversal. So the market, whenever it breaks a line, like it has broken this line, you see a red candle started above and it is planning to close below. It means that this coin, although the stochastic RSI down here isn't what we call the buy area. Even if you make your entry here, you must set up margin calls to cater that the market will be striving to use this line. This was it. This was resistance, to use this line as support. Then after it moves up. Okay. So let me just again, start them again, so that I pick the one that is which is GRT. I don't love GRT. I don't love GRT. Okay. I'm now on prayers. So we are basically trying to connect. So basically we are looking at using the ABC, the stochastic, and the Fibonacci. That's where I will keep my focus. Just a minute. I don't know what's happening. Okay. I don't know if it's now fine. All right. Hope it's now okay. All right. Okay. Now look at this scenario in the 4-hour time frame. So this has been resisted. So if you are trading such a trade, you expect it now to move down here. So you use these lines also. All right. So if this is GRT and downward trend, what do I expect to happen? Now this is a downward trend. Okay, where is my stochastic? My stochastic is facing down. What is happening with my ABCV1? It is showing me this is on a downward trend because I see lower lows and lower highs. So I see lower highs, okay, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This is a downward trend. The stochastic is facing down. So if I'm gonna make my entry, where do I expect the reverse of the market? Where do I expect the reverse of the market? At 61.8. That's the major reverse of the market. So if I enter that trade, I must be looking at those areas. When I open a trade, let me see this one, and I want to trade. What do I see? Okay, basically, this is sweet. What do I see? I see the market has been on a downward trend, but lately it has formed a higher low, meaning it is planning to become an upward trend. Okay, so the market is here. Where do I expect the reversal? At this line? Okay, at this line, but this is a downward trend. I expect my reversal. If worst goes to the worst, to here. So if I want to protect myself, what do I do, Julius? I measure from here to here. and I set up my margin calls. Then I enter, I measure from here to here is my take profit. That is the network is about me out again. But have I tried to make some sense? You can type a 2 in the chat. I don't know what's happening here to make some sense. You put 1 in the chat. Type for me 1 in the chat. 1 in the chat. No one can hear me. Am I surviving? Am I still around? Anyone can hear me? Did I just end this now? Am I still surviving? The network this night, I don't know what's happening. But you must be able to understand those two. How to combine the 3 indicators, right? How to combine the 3 indicators to make sure that you make a perfect entry in the market. Okay, you know the market's on a downward trend. You see it is forming lower lows and lower highs. You see the market is forming lower lows and lower highs. You see the stochastic RSI, it is in the buying zone, or it is in the oversold zone. Most importantly, you look at the Fibonacci. What is the Fibonacci saying? So I wanted to show you the two scenarios on an upward trend. Where do we expect real massive reverse of the market? Okay. All right, let me use this. So let me go to this coin. Let me use the Harbor. I don't know how it's performing now. Okay. This one is also on a downward. Maybe you want to trade this, that this market has to reverse. So you either wait for the reversal or you trade with in mind that this market will come down. Let me try this. Okay, also here, you must be having in mind that the market will reverse. Okay, so you see it has formed a lower low, a lower high. Although it has had a spike, but it's still on a downward trend. You must have this in your mind. You must have this in your mind before you take your money and press in the trade. Wow, this was so sweet. Do you see the reversal, ladies and gentlemen? You see the reversal? Let's see, network is doing me the service, but okay, from here, 100 to 0. You see the reversal, ladies and gentlemen, on the 50. I think it's the 50. Yes, on the 50 line, the market reversed from here back to 0. And if we could be able to measure from the reversal here, you see this has been another 10%. This has been another 10%. So if you could use the stochastic RSI, okay, the stochastic RSI very clearly. So here you were seeing a higher low, but use the stochastic RSI here. Let me draw. Hope you see the stochastic. If we're gonna take here, all right, in the right area, it was, I think, around this area here. It's in the oversold area. Then you make your entry, you get out up to the 0 mark. I hope I've done my best. It's all about practice that could enable you achieve this. That's our Saturday. Till we catch up next week. I think, is it Tuesday, end of the 2, till we catch up next week on Thursday and Saturday again. I'll still teach the same thing to make sure that you understand. Thank you so much. I wish you a perfect weekend. You can go try to add in this, see if you have winning areas, and make your 2 to 3% or 5% from your trades. God bless you. I hope on Thursday or next week my network will be a little bit clear. Then we go in again and again and again and again until maybe you could learn to do this by yourself. God bless you. Have a blessed night.